do not want your photo or your name in any media or publication, please do let the Surrey and White Rock Board of Trade staff know. They are a public stakeholder, and at times media will be present and photos are taken that may be utilized in internal and external publications. Okay. Having said that, good morning, everyone, and I am delighted to welcome you to this year's edition of the Metro Vancouver Black Business Expo. Are you guys excited to be here? Okay. Thank you so much for coming. This is the 4th year running, and we are so delighted that we've been able to keep this program going year after year, and we are coming back stronger, stronger, and stronger. Can I hear everyone say Black Business Expo? Yes, thank you so much. I am delighted to welcome you once again. This program is hosted by the Yoruba Social and Cultural Association of BC in partnership with the Surrey and White Rock Board of Trade. My name is Buki Adeoye, and I am the Vice President of the Yoruba Social and Cultural Association of BC, and I will be your MC for today. Okay, let me start by acknowledging that we are on the traditional territory of the Coast Salish people, specifically the Kwantlen, the Katsi, the Kikwetlem, the Kukite, the Semiamu, and the Tawasin First Nations. As well, I acknowledge the Inuit and Métis Nations people who live and work on these territories. And we are so grateful for the gift of being allowed to be on this land. And now, I want to thank the sponsors of the event. Without them, we wouldn't be here. They have been the bedrock, the backbone of this event, year in, year out, and we are delighted that they've come on board again this year. So help me make some noise for the B2B networking lounge sponsor, Prospera Credit Union. Our community sponsors, Karana Group and Studio Room. Our media sponsors, CBC Vancouver and the Surrey Now Leader. And with funding provided by Pacifican and Heritage Canada. Thank you so much. We are so grateful for the support. I would now like to welcome some special guests in the audience. We have Councillor Harry Baines from the City of Surrey Council. Thank you for coming. We will recognize the rest of the dignitaries as we go through the program, so you get to know the rest of those in the audience. Please join me to welcome the President of the Yoruba Social and Cultural Association of BC, Adebola Ige, for his welcome remarks.
Mic check. Okay, it works. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone, once again. Thank you. I want to begin by saying welcome. And we have a very interesting way of saying welcome in our culture. So if you are very comfortable, I think I probably do this every year. I would like you to say "e káàbọ̀," and what that means is welcome. So you can turn to the person to the right or to your left to say "e káàbọ̀." And what that means is welcome. The Yorubas, we are always very welcoming, and so we have a way to greet everyone in every scenario. So that's the way we greet. So "e káàbọ̀." So thank you so much. I want to begin by sincerely thanking you for being here today, despite the weather forecast. I know the weather forecast was kind of very interesting, but thank you so much for being here. It's interesting that we can at least know the weather in advance. It's a very great pleasure to welcome you to the 4th edition of the Metro Vancouver Black Business Expo. It's wonderful to see you again, Mayor Locke. Thank you so much. We are truly inspired by your consistent support over the years for the Metro Vancouver Black Business Expo. And I know it's a very busy schedule, but we also appreciate the various developments in the city of Surrey over the past years. So thank you so much to you and the team. Thank you very much. Can we please give a round of applause? Thank you. Thank you so much. Actually, that was actually my speech, but it looks like the applause came even before I mentioned it. So thank you so much. So since our first gathering in 2022, the Expo has become a vital platform for us to connect, collaborate, and also share great community impact. It's exciting. Over the years, we've had very wonderful partnership with the Surrey and White Rock Board of Trade. And we continue to work closely together to inspire entrepreneurs and also strengthen business visibility and celebrate diversity in commerce. And that's very interesting. Let's please give the Surrey and White Rock Board of Trade a very big round of applause for their support, dedication, and vision. Thank you so much, Jocelyn, Indra, Eda, Rona, and the rest of the team. It's very inspiring to see how much support we get from them, from the team, Mayor Locke. I think that's very exciting, the partnership we get from the Surrey and White Rock Board of Trade, so we have to specially call that out. Through the Yoruba BC new entrepreneur program, which I'm sure, Mayor Locke, you got some information about that, I think a few days ago, we have provided lots of business registration and marketing support for about 20 businesses in the past 6 months, and in the last 1 year for 35 business owners. So this helps businesses to start up, to grow, to scale, which is what we really need in the diversity and inclusion component of the entrepreneurial spirit we have in BC. As Yorubas, our foundation has always been rooted in entrepreneurship and community enterprise. Personally, my father and grandfather were both farmers, just that probably the grandfather had to use the heavy-duty equipment, and while my dad used the mechanized ones, but they were both farmers. And that's a reminder that hard work and innovation and entrepreneurship are really part of our heritage in the community. And in line with that, the Yoruba Social and Cultural Association of BC, we are taking another bold step today, also in the city of Surrey, by launching the Yoruba BC Multipurpose Community Cooperative Society. And this is an investment cooperative designed to pool resources for sustainable projects in agriculture, business, and enterprise development. This initiative marks another journey, a new chapter for economic empowerment, shared prosperity within our community. It's so interesting that all the great things are happening in the city of Surrey. We extend our deepest appreciation to our exhibitors, sponsors, executive committee, board, and elders of the Yoruba BC, volunteers, community partners whose continued support and dedication have made this year's Expo a powerful celebration of entrepreneurship, resilience, and growth. I think about a month ago, I was also discussing again with Emily Begg. Good to see you, sir. And we're discussing about various ways in which we can set up City of Surrey, for great entrepreneurship spirit, especially with the various trade wars we have across the border. So good to see you again, Emily Begg. As we look into the future, the Metro Vancouver Black Business Expo will continue to focus on education growth, market stability for entrepreneurs in our community. So today is another day to support the business owners. Today is a day to put more focus on the various businesses that are showcasing today. Let's go out there and support our amazing business owners. Interestingly, even my attire today is actually also made by one of the business owners presenting today. So most times I like to say I practice what I preach. So thank you so much, and look forward to seeing everyone, and let's get the businesses under support for the next year. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Adebola. So now I know why you're so passionate about farming and everything about the cooperative. And you've all heard him, so please, all the vendors are here. Let's get ready to support them. Now, help me welcome from our co-host, the Surrey and White Rock Board of Trade CEO, Jocelyn Young.
Thanks, Buki. I'm the tall one here. Good morning, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here in partnership with our friends at Yoruba. The Surrey and White Rock Board of Trade delivers a dynamic range of services in business development, connections, trade, advocacy, and workforce growth. We support business and attract business to the region, and our organization also proudly represents both Surrey and White Rock, united as your voice for a thriving business community, like our new sign over here says. I just saw it for the first time this morning. Today we celebrate the significant contributions of Black-owned businesses to our region's economic and cultural landscape. You bring innovation, creativity, and a powerful entrepreneurial spirit to our communities that enriches us and makes it better here. Building something from the ground up is never easy, and it's no easy task to say that I have an idea and I'm going to go for it. And this is why I believe entrepreneurs are some of the most brave people out there. It can be a lonely job. Often you're working long hours and working more than one job just to make ends meet. Trying to bring that aha moment of when you conceived of your business idea and bring it to fruition and see your vision become a reality. What I want you to know is that you're not alone. The Surrey and White Rock Board of Trade is here to help you. And we have thousands of members who are some of the most welcoming people that you'll ever meet. So, as we continue to foster an inclusive and equitable environment for all businesses to thrive, we are proud to stand alongside you and building a stronger, more connected future. So if you're not already a part of our network, I invite you to join us, and let's continue to grow together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jocelyn. And I know Adebola has done this, but I just want to join him in acknowledging the Surrey Board of Trade, Surrey and White Rock Board of Trade. Your support has really helped us to take this from level to the next level to the next level year after year. So thank you so much from the depth of our hearts. We're grateful. A lot of people talk about equity, inclusion, diversity, but you guys are really living the meaning of it, and we're so happy to see that. Please, another round of applause for the Surrey and White Rock Board of Trade. Thank you. Now, it gives me a lot of pleasure to welcome on behalf of the province of BC, Parliamentary Secretary for Surrey Infrastructure and MLA for Surrey Guildford, Mr. Gary Begg.
Thank you very much, and it's nice to be here today. I like the word entrepreneur, and that's been mentioned and will be mentioned several times. What is an entrepreneur? It's someone who takes a chance, takes a risk, and your community has proven that to be true. And you're in the right place with the exhibitors today to continue to do that. It's my great pleasure today to represent the province of British Columbia at this event. On behalf of Premier David Eby and the government, I bring warm greetings and best wishes to you all. Thank you to Yoruba, the Social and Cultural Association of BC, and Surrey and White Rock Board of Trade for hosting the Metro Vancouver Black Business Expo right here in Surrey. Community events like today make this city more vibrant and connected. It allows for local businesses in Surrey to showcase their goods and services. This vibrant event is open to all members of the public for free. It also allows for community members to access these small businesses that they may not have known about. I truly enjoyed the previous Metro Vancouver Black Business Expo, and I attended again this year. I look forward to celebrating with you, the members of our community, while together we all support Black entrepreneurs and local business. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Parliamentary Secretary Begg. Now, it gives me great pleasure to welcome someone who has been one of our biggest supporters. I think nearly every event, everything that we've done, not just in the Yoruba community, but in the Nigerian community, I've seen her there. And so it's my pleasure to welcome the Mayor of Surrey, Her Worship Brenda Locke.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the People's Place. This is your place. I am truly pleased to be here and want to introduce a couple of people that are here. I know Harry Baines, he was already introduced, but Harry is also the head of our Economic Development Committee, a really important committee in our city, and so thank you, Harry, for being here. I know Councillor Cooner and Councillor Studd are on their way. They're just going to come to pull out their wallet, I hope, out there, so they're here for good reason. I also want to introduce Tyler Westover. He is here. Stick up your hand, Tyler. He's being shy. Not really. Tyler is the head of the Economic Development Department in the City of Surrey, and we take economic development in our city very, very seriously, and so being here is really a big part of all of that. It's great to join you today to kick off this Metro Vancouver Black Business Expo. And you know, I just saw at was it 2 days ago? Yeah. So we have a problem. He knows what it is. You see where it says Metro Vancouver? We knew it was supposed to be Metro Surrey, and you didn't get it changed in time. Okay, next time. Next year. There's no excuses for that. Surrey, as I know everybody knows, is truly the economic driver in Metro Vancouver for a lot of reasons. One is we are the only place in this whole region that has the opportunity to expand and continue to expand our industrial land, and so that's a really big part of it. But the other side of it is Surrey is a young community, young, aggressive, ready to work folks that are here, and so finding those employees for all of you is going to be a much easier challenge. It's always a challenge in Surrey. I want to thank MLA Begg for a comment he made around risk, because I think risk is really important, and for all of you that are entrepreneurs, you risk every single day. You risk your heart, your soul, your money. It's a very big deal to us at the City of Surrey, so we thank you and applaud you for taking a risk and taking a risk in Surrey. We thank you for that. And events like these show how diverse business can come together to enrich and to strengthen our community. It's what makes our City of Surrey, and the entire region in fact, more vibrant, more inclusive, and more connected. I want to thank the Yoruba Social Cultural Association of BC and the Surrey and White Rock Board of Trade for hosting this wonderful event every year. It's important to us, and I look forward to it every year. I really look forward to the baker that's out there that makes really great bread. Yeah. When we create space for all the voices to be heard and business to flourish, everybody in our community wins. So today, I wish you all a really wonderful day, tremendous success today and for the rest of the year. Have a really great Expo, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor Locke. Our next speaker is someone that was here last year, and I remember the candid conversations that she had with us and said, how can I help? You know, you could really see the passion that she wanted to know what we were doing and she wanted to be a part of it. And I was so happy to hear that they came on board massively this year and they gave us a lot of support. So please join me to welcome Eileen Glavinick from Pacifican to convey a message on behalf of Minister Gregor Robertson.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes. Good. Sometimes I'm too loud. I'm very, very happy and excited to be here today on behalf of Pacific Economic Development Canada, better known as Pacifican. We're the dedicated federal economic development agency for British Columbians. My name is Helen Glavinick, and I'm the manager of the Networks and Entrepreneurship team at Pacifican. Our team supports our partnership with the Pacific Business Service Network, which is a group of independent organizations funded under Pacifican to support entrepreneurs. It includes organizations such as Community Futures, WeBC, and the Entrepreneurs with Disabilities Program, and others. We work very closely with our PBSN partners to ensure entrepreneurs across BC have access to the tools and support they need to thrive. And I'm looking forward to meeting many more of you today to learn more about what other tools are needed and missing. Pacifican also helps businesses access capital, expertise and export readiness support through other programs like Export Navigator, the Business Scale-Up and Productivity Program, the Regional Tariff Response Initiative that was just launched, and key partnerships such as the Trade Accelerator Program delivered by the Greater Vancouver Board of Trade. It is my absolute honor today to bring greetings on behalf of the Honourable Gregor Robertson, Minister of Housing, Infrastructure and Communities, and the Minister responsible for Pacifican, who unfortunately could not be here with us today. The Minister has asked Pacifican to share the following message with all of you. Today, we celebrate the spirit and innovation that Black entrepreneurs bring to British Columbia. The Metro Vancouver, or should I say Surrey, Black Business Expo showcases leaders from across the province who are shaping our future. Small businesses power communities across British Columbia, and the growing number of Black-owned businesses make our economy and our province stronger than ever. Pacifican is committed to empowering entrepreneurs by helping them navigate economic uncertainty and providing the resources needed to grow and be more productive. Entrepreneurs are not just building businesses, they are building communities, creating jobs, and inspiring young people. The Government of Canada is here to support that journey. Thank you to the Yoruba Social and Cultural Association of BC and the Surrey and White Rock Board of Trade for organizing this event. And thank you to the Black business community for your bold ideas and inspiring leadership. On that note, I want to again thank you for inviting us to join you here today and be part of today's event to continue building these extremely important relationships. My colleague Sheba Faki, here she is, and I look forward to a wonderful afternoon filled with meaningful conversations, connections, and the sharing of bold ideas. And of course, but certainly not least, I'm very excited to shop the Entrepreneur Showcase. Last year, I also got a lot of that delicious bread, some beauty products, and other things. Today, I'm looking for some new jewelry. So I'll be on the prowl, and I can't wait to meet every one of you. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Eileen. Entrepreneurs, you heard her. She's going to be walking around, feel free to engage with her, let her know what you need and what you're trying to do. Thank you so much. It is now my pleasure to introduce our next speaker this morning from the World Trade Center, all the way from Vancouver. Please welcome Program Specialist Fatima Rashid.
Hello and good morning. I am Fatima Rashid, Program Specialist with the World Trade Center Vancouver. I work in Vancouver, but I live in Surrey, so this is very close to home. Thank you so much for having me today. I wanted to share a little bit about who we are and all of the support that we have for businesses. Just looking for the clicker. There we go. Perfect. So one of the common questions I get is World Trade Center Vancouver, New York, what's the link? So we are part of the World Trade Center that is headquartered out of New York. And the way that we operate here in BC is we're essentially under the Greater Vancouver Board of Trade, and we act as the international arm of the Board of Trade, where we support BC companies as a whole with their international expansion. And really our mission under the WTCA is to connect companies globally. So we essentially support companies through 3 of our major programming. The first one is the Trade Accelerator Program, so this is the one that I oversee. We have another program called the Market Activation Program, and then finally our Global Performance Series. So I wanted to give an introduction, a brief introduction on each one of our programs, just to share what kind of resources are out there as you are looking to expand your business beyond BC or Canada. So the Trade Accelerator Program is essentially a 5-day export training program that's meant to support companies who are looking to expand their products or their services. So I'm going to pause right here. There you go. So it's a 5-day program that we spread out over the course of 6 weeks. So the first 2 days is really what we call our workshop days. So this is where we provide you with international trade training, and we cover a variety of topics. These are just a couple to list, but we'll go over international tax, law, financing, logistics. And what we do is we bring in an expert in each of these business areas to talk to you about some of the considerations as you are looking to expand your business and what you need to think about when you are doing business in an international market. So first 2 days are really the international trade training piece. And then we call you back for day 3 of the program, which we call our export plan day. So we'll provide you with an export plan template to start working on a strategy for a market of your choice. So it's a working session. You then take it away, complete this export plan, and submit it to us. And once you submit it to us, you'll let us know who out of our experts you're interested in meeting with, and that brings us to the final component of the program, which is the mentorship days. So these are one-on-one meetings with all of the experts that you've selected to meet with. You're getting feedback on your business and your expansion plan. So in a nutshell, you are getting that international trade training, applying it to your business, creating a strategy for a market of your choice, and then getting that strategy vetted by industry professionals. Just a little bit about the program. So we are funded by Pacific Can. It is a national program, so we brought it over to BC about 8 years ago, and we're seeing that just 6 to 12 months after completing the program, companies are seeing an average export growth of about 23%. We're seeing that 86% of our TAP graduates are actively exporting within the first year of completing the program. We're seeing that just 6 months after completing the program, companies are actually hiring more export-focused staff to support that growing side of their business. And then 90% of our alumni are actually declaring themselves more confident as they are looking and starting their business in a new country. So that was the TAP program. So that's really focused on the export training piece. You know, we get your strategy in place, you get the feedback, so you're all ready to go into the market. Now, our second program is what we call our market activation program. So this is where we do deeper dives into markets worldwide. So we will pick a country, bring in the experts of that country. So we work very closely with the consulate group. We work very closely with the trade commissioners that are in that market. And really, it's a deep dive into the opportunities that there are for you as a Canadian business in that market. So this could be anywhere from a 1-hour roundtable to a half-day event. And we do these sessions throughout the year based off of different markets. So the trends that we're seeing, the markets that are of interest. So we either pick countries or sometimes we look at trade agreements. So Canada has about 15 trade agreements worldwide, so we'll pick a trade agreement, bring in a couple countries under that trade agreement, and really, it's an opportunity for you to get an understanding of what the markets are, what sectors are in demand in that market. So really a deeper dive into different markets around the world. And then our final component, final program is what we call our Global Performance Series. So this is our event series, and we do different sessions throughout the year based off global trends. So earlier this year, when things were shifting down in the U.S., we did some sessions on the U.S. tariffs and compliance. We did a session on market diversification, so really looking at what other markets can you go to, and the free trade agreements that are out there. We did one on domestic and interprovincial expansion, and then Incoterms, trade logistics. So we really do different sessions throughout the year based on what is going on in the global trade landscape, really just to keep that, keep everyone educated on what's going on and how we can support or what resources are out there to navigate that. So in terms of our upcoming events, we have our upcoming Trade Accelerator Program cohort. It's our Greater Vancouver cohort, so that's going to be launching in November. So we do have a few spots open. So if you are, domestically established and you are now thinking about, going international, whether it's to the US or anywhere else in the world, highly recommend this program. I will be around for a little bit, so if you do have any questions, feel free to come and chat, and I'd be happy to share more information. So that one launches on November 5th. And yeah, so feel free to get in touch with us. I know that was very short, but I just want to stay on time. My email is also on there. So again, if you have any questions about any of our programming, and you want to see if you qualify or what's the best fit for you, I would be happy to get connected and see how we can support you there. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Fatima. What a dream it is. It's a dream come true to have Fatima here. Because I remember when we started this years ago and we were talking about what the vision was, what we wanted for our entrepreneurs. And the conversation was all about getting Black products onto bigger shelves, into bigger companies, getting Black products exported, getting partnerships, making our businesses bigger, better, the way that we know that they can be. So having the World Trade Center come down here to see what our entrepreneurs are doing and see how they can support them, this is really a dream come true, because this is what we really want as a Black community. So thank you so much. Please do talk to Fatima and see how you can take advantage of the programs that they have. Okay, so let's get a bit more practical. Every year we try to make sure that we bring someone that can turn some of the things we say into some practical experience, people that have walked the journey and can really share what it is like, what it feels like to be an entrepreneur. So this year, our next speaker is going to inspire us with our entrepreneurial journey. And join me to welcome the owner of Just Cakes Bake Shop, Ravina Oberoi.
Hello, everyone. I talk a lot, So if you need me to get off stage, just let me know. You can always find me. I'm literally disclaimer right now. If find me later, we'll talk for hours. But today I just want to share a little bit about my journey. Thank you so much for having me here today. It's honestly such an honor to be in a room full of founders and thinkers and movers. It's super inspiring for me. People who truly understand the grit, the chaos and heartbreak of business, and then the magic that kind of comes with building something from nothing. So I'm Ravina Oberoi. I'm a baker, I'm a builder and dreamer who turned my childhood love for baking into 2 national brands, Just Cakes Bake Shop here in Surrey and Gummy Gains, brand new protein candy. Find me for a bag later. And today I want to share my journey with you, not as a highlight reel, but as a messy, real, behind-the-scenes version, one that's full of false starts, setbacks, breakdowns, heartbreak, all the good stuff. But if there's one thing that I've learned now over the last 16 years, it's this. It's building something meaningful will demand everything from you, but also give you everything back. So I started baking when I was 16 years old. It wasn't a business plan. It was my version of therapy. It wasn't even a dream at the time. It's how I kind of created my first sense of identity, something that told me that I could create something from nothing. It was a way to find peace when the world felt too loud. I spent hours in my mom's kitchen, coming home every single day after school, baking something, me and my grandma. It was how we bonded, and it's kind of how I found my love for baking. The first time I pulled out, I remember this so clearly, pulled out cookies from the oven, cookies that I still make today, every single day at the bakery. Something kind of shifted in me. It was that realization that you can create something out of nothing, that power to shape my life is quite literally in my hands, and that is super, super empowering. And that's the lesson that never left me in building Just Cakes and building now a brand new candy brand. 15 years later, that thought anchors me every single day. So when I first opened Just Cakes, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know how loans worked. I didn't know how to track inventory. I didn't know software. I didn't know food and beverage. I didn't know anything. I literally went in blind. So I did the only thing that I knew how to do, and I led with what felt right. And what felt right at the time was treating my team the way I wanted to be treated, the gaps that I found in the industry after talking to a few people, and obsessing over my product. I made sure that what we were selling was so good that it would speak for itself, and I built systems from the ground up. Simple, clear systems that a 7-year-old would understand, and that continues to remain the infrastructure of my business and every other business initiative that I'm a part of. The early years were very, very hard. I was young, I was a woman of color. I opened up when I was 22 years old, my first brick and mortar, and I was stepping into a very much still a male-dominated environment of business. And most people didn't really take me seriously. The banks didn't take me seriously. Contractors didn't take me seriously. They thought it was my dad's business. And more people told me that I would fail than I would succeed. But a little bit of delusion goes a long way. So that's kind of the theme of the talk today. And I had just enough of it to keep going. So I almost quit more times than I could count. I'd sit there some nights thinking, like, what's the point? I can make more money, doing something else. Why am I putting myself through this? But deep down, kind of knew my why, that, it was never about the money. It was about making my own mark in my own way and creating something from nothing. Then came COVID. So I opened up my bakery in 2017, and, we were primarily events focused. A lot of things with the city of Surrey, lots of weddings and events and things like that. And COVID kind of wiped 80% of my business out overnight. I was devastated. I felt like a failure. I felt like a fraud. I felt like I had to let go majority of my team. And, the thing about entrepreneurship is when you do kind of get to that next level of business where you do have a team, quitting isn't an option. You're feeding a lot of people, and a lot of people are relying on you. So that kind of also can be anchored, and, you do need to pivot, and entrepreneurship is literally just adapting. something unexpected happened in that point. And I am a huge, huge believer of happenstance and positive uncertainty. I think we as humans have this tendency to believe that the uncertain is scary, and it is, and evolutionarily speaking, we are wired to think that way. But if you just shift that mindset, that so much good can also come from the uncertain, I think that's been really powerful for me. So, and opportunities are here. They're in this room. It's about being open to them and being able to see those opportunities. So that unexpected happened. A buyer from Fresh Street Market, locally here, came by the bakery. This was around the holidays, and they loved our little cake jars. And they said, hey, what would it take to kind of be on the shelves? And I'm like, oh, no problem. We can totally do this. We can totally get these on shelves. And I didn't know at the time, but that meant nutritional facts labels and barcodes and compliance and making sure your facility is in a certain way and all these kind of things. And I just said yes. And, you know, as entrepreneurs, I'm sure a lot of you can relate. You say yes and you figure it out. You build the parachute on the way down. So that's essentially what happened. And that was kind of the kicker. I knew nothing about retail, CPG, barcodes, none of that. I literally just started this as a girl that made cookies for her grandma. And, you know, but you say yes and you figure it out. So that was my first aha moment, that when Fresh Street came to me asking for our product, I realized that growth didn't have to necessarily mean opening more storefronts. Growth could mean building a brand that could travel way farther than I could. So we started supplying Fresh Street Market just before the pandemic. I learned everything about barcodes and compliance and all of that good stuff online via YouTube, free resources. I messed up probably 10 times. They said, no, bring it back, do it better. But you kept trying, you kept showing up, you remained with that consistency. That tiny foot in the door became the start of something entirely new for Just Cakes, and that was an entire wholesale side of the business. Now, wholesale is a completely different beast. When you run a storefront, you're in control of everything, the product experience, timing. When you move into wholesale, you're relying on key people, supply chains, distributors, cash flow, and a little bit of right timing as well. And so those are moving parts that you don't fully control. And I learned a lot, often by doing a lot of the wrong things first. And those lessons kind of paved the way for what came next. So in 2017, I had one storefront. We started wholesaling in 2019. In 2021, we opened up our second storefront. And then in 2022, I took the massive leap to purchase a production facility. That's where things went sideways. Construction delays, permits, all of the red tape needed to create a production facility, and our production facility remained empty for 2 years while the bills piled up. And so now 2024 comes and we're finally able to operate with very, very minimal cash flow and very minimal capital to be able to grow. So you're kind of stuck in that rock and hard place of, I want to grow my business, but I need to also feed my team and do all these things. And honestly, if I'm being super candid, that part of the journey isn't over yet. It's still a daily kind of struggle with all of that. But again, it's that test of emotionally, financially, physically, all those things that you have to kind of necessarily ground yourself in your why again. And I know that sounds really fluffy, and I know we're here for tangible, practical knowledge, but it is kind of being anchored in that. It's like, yes, this day, am I going to get through this day? Yes, I am, and we're going to figure out the problems, and it's a series of problem solving. When we finally moved into the warehouse, so this is basically 3 months old now, in June of 2025, you know, kind of looking at the numbers and what made sense and what was the focus here, and knowing that there's a demand for our product in the grocery space, we had been able to build up from that initial step with Fresh Street Market, build from, you know, one location to 35 retailers to then back down to 10 because of so many factors, the economy, COVID, the product wasn't selling in some places and things like that, and dealing with the heartbreak that comes with that, and trying not to let it get to you because you think your product is amazing. But then also pivoting and like, I know that there is room for us here, so how do we make it work? And then in the spring of 2025, so this year, I had the chance to pitch to Save On Foods. And so they said, okay, like we'll give you 15 stores. So we're like, okay, that's great. I'm happy with 15 stores. So that launched in June of 2025. And June of 2025 is also when I had to make a really hard decision to let go of my brick and mortar store. And so I decided, I'm like, if I'm going to focus on wholesale, if I'm going to focus on getting onto these shelves and sharing my product nationwide, then this is the decision I need to do. So I ended up actually selling or licensing out my brick and mortar to an amazing employee of mine who runs the day-to-day so I could focus on wholesale. And that was probably the pivotal moment that I needed to do to have my focus there. From June of 2025 being in 15 stores to now being in over 50 stores of Save On Foods in a span of 3 months. I think that has a lot to do with focus, with tenacity, with believing in your product. And it's been a roller coaster journey, right? I can't even describe the feeling. Like years ago, I think I told my dad, I was like, I'm going to be a nationwide brand one day. And now we're actively doing that, and it feels incredible. And I know what it takes, and it's so, so hard. And, oftentimes you don't know how you're going to get through this month or this hard season. But again, it's anchoring in, I can do this, and I can build something from nothing. And honestly, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Because learning how to do all these little things, there's so much out there, and there's so many incredible resources here today, too. So reach out. I know I don't have too much time, but I just want to leave on one last thing. A couple last things. Is that okay? Okay, cool. Sorry. While all of this was happening, another chapter of my journey was unfolding, and that was with Gummy Gains. I was brought on to the team just to formulate the recipe. By no means wasn't my idea or anything like that. I was literally brought on to do the recipe. And once I did that, I fell in love again with the concept of literally a product that does not exist in this world yet. I get a chance to help create it, and that's kind of what happened. It was, why does protein have to taste so bad? Why does it feel like punishment? And I'm a sugar girly. I bake for a living, so I wanted to make something delicious. And building Gummy Gains is like learning how to walk again. It's, again, the compliance, the packaging, the funding, the regulations, and every retailer wants something different, the fees associated with that. But it's also been so special to me because it represents a meaningful pivot as an entrepreneur. For most of my career, I was a solo entrepreneur, and I was my own boss and CEO and never worked for anyone else, but Gummy Gains kind of forced me to grow into someone that's able to collaborate and rely on a team, and that's been a really, really cool thing. And, we started as a team. Last October was when we signed on to our first retailer. So last October, having just a handful of local stores, to now this October, a year later, we're in over 600 stores. It's been an incredible journey, and that is a testament to collaboration and to how much support there is out there if you just ask. And I think that's a really, really cool thing, especially in Surrey. Like I am literally living proof that networking. My businesses are living proof that networking and that connection is so meaningful as long as it's genuine. And I think that's a huge, huge thing. The last thing I'm going to leave with for really, really practical things is a lot of people ask me, how'd you get into Save On Foods? How'd you get into Fresh Food Market? How did you do this? It comes down to relationship. This is why events like today matter so much. It's networking, it's relationship, and it's genuine connection. So I know a lot of times people kind of drag their feet at networking events and handing out business cards. Like I challenge you to ask somebody, how many siblings do they have? Where do they grow up? What do they like to eat? What's their favorite restaurant? Actually create a human connection, because we are humans at the end of the day. And we live in a world that is largely online, and unfortunately, we don't know what's real anymore. And so that human connection, you cannot take that away from us. That is innate within us. So I do challenge you, I implore you today to make a connection, get somebody's number, ask them their favorite restaurant, remember something about them. That's where it all starts. The coolest story, final thing. The coolest story is the Save On Foods connection. I was catering on the Just Cake side of things last summer, a golf tournament, a women's golf tournament. I don't golf, but I go to the range sometimes. And I had these brand spanking new clubs in my car randomly, super random. And this is when I just had the prototype for this. I just created the first few bags. So I just stuck them in the golf bag. This is weeks before this golf tournament. So go to the golf tournament and then they say, hey, Rena, there's one more spot available and we need to make teams of 3. Are you willing to sub? And I'm like, sure, I randomly have golf clubs in my van. Let's do it. So I go in and my team members are the directors at Save On Foods. And so we're chatting, and I didn't even bring up gummy gains or just cakes or anything at this point. I'm literally just making genuine friendship and connection. And at the very end, I'm like, hey, I'm working on something. Do you want to look at this? And they tried it and they loved it. That was in June of 2024. And like I said, October is when we were kind of starting with local retailers. By February, I got the call and they said, hey, we really want to try this out. Do you want to bring it down? And those little seeds, those little points of connection, that is the perfect example of happenstance, but at the same time being ready for those opportunities and seeing those opportunities. And not expecting anything out of it, but genuinely showing up and being obsessed with what you're doing. I think we're all obsessed with what we're doing. I think that's how we make it. So I could speak for hours, so please find me. We can chat or message me online, but I guess I just want to leave you guys with this journey has honestly taught me more about myself than I could ever imagine. It's taught me that I'm capable of far more than I ever give myself credit for, and we are our own worst critic. I'm stronger than my worst days, and we can survive setbacks that would have broken you maybe years ago, and really remembering how far along you are in your journey, I think is super important and anchors you. More importantly, it's taught me that no one's coming to save me, and that's the best news, because it means I have the power to save myself. If I had to boil everything I've learned into 3 traits of a founder, of an entrepreneur, they'd be delusional, believe in your vision so wildly that people think you're a little crazy, because that belief will carry you and nothing else will. Second, be tenacious. Refuse to quit even when the odds are stacked against you, especially then. Consistency matters. And third, be consistent. Show up every day, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Because consistency compounds, and one day you'll look up and realize you're exactly where you dreamed to be. Thank you guys so much for your time. And find me, honestly. We'll chat. And I have candy. Just find me. I'll give you a bag.
Networking, relationships, genuine connection. Networking, relationships, genuine connection. Thank you so much, Ravina. I could listen to you all day, by the way. Those were really, really good nuggets. See, my notes are full. Well done, and thank you. Very inspiring. You said be delusional, be tenacious, be consistent, and I love the fact that you said somewhere that you never give up. Quitting is not an option. So I know people are going to look at you today, look at your products all over the country, but what they don't see is the journey. So thank you so much for sharing with us from the heart, and I'm sure that you've inspired a lot of people in the audience. Okay, we are now coming to the end of our program, formal program. Do not go. All the entrepreneurs are out there waiting for you to engage with them. But I want to round up with thanking the sponsors of this event. Like I said, we wouldn't be here without them. So we are grateful. Thank you for coming back year after year and making this happen. Our B2B and I want to hear loud noise and applause for them this time around. Our B2B networking lounge sponsor, Prospera Credit Union. Woo! Thank you. Our community sponsors, Karana Group and Studio Room. Woo! Our media sponsors, CBC Vancouver and the Sorry Now Leader. Woo! And with funding from Pacifican and Heritage Canada. Thank you. Thank you so much. You make important events like this possible. Thank you all for attending. Please do make your way back to the exhibitor spaces. The doors are now open, and happy shopping and happy vendor day.